Hello, gentle viewers. This is Zap Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Chicago White Sox. Our previous season went 55 and 107, which is certainly not a good game. It's not a good season. But we've got a brand new owner, and we have some opportunities to really put our stamp on this club to make it the kind of club we can be proud of. So, let's dive right into that. We are probably gonna have the first overall pick again. Um, I can't remember if OTP has the same rule that like the NHL does, where you can only have the first overall pick so frequently before they say you just can't have it anymore. Um, we have a lot of work to do, just a ton of work. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to set up is I want to set up my coaching staff. Um, I think that's going to be pretty important. So, is there anybody we want to promote into being our lead pitching coach? I think we could do a whole lot worse than making John Kovalik our head pitching coach. Jacob Doris is a really good coach, but he's not a very good pitching coach. So what we're going to do with Mr. Jacob Doris is I think we make him our third base coach. I think that's the right choice here. Because he's too good a coach to be just a pitching coach, and I think this gives us some really great teaching opportunities here. And even if he's not a brilliant pitching coach, I think he helps the team out quite a bit. Ideally, we want guys that are personable or easygoing. That would be ideal. I'm not going to be too obsessed about it, but all right. We could make Jacob Doris do everything. That seems ineffective. We can definitely do that. Walker McKinnon, if he does the way I think he is, I think he's okay for right now. But I do think he's another guy that's going to be replaced. Replaced. All right. Pitching and hitting coach. We're going to go outside for these. I didn't see anybody pitching coach wise that really excited me. Hitting coach wise, Nicky Delmonico is also a great coach. He's just not a great hitting coach. Cameron Seitzer is fine, but we need to do better than fine. We need to get the best possible coaches so that our players develop as effectively as possible. We have a hitting coach. Wait, why is this pitching coach? I guess he's a hitting coach. Never mind. Yeah, Gerardo Olivares is a pitching coach. I don't know why he's being considered a hitting coach, but we're going to give him a promotion to make him a pitching coach. Which he should be. Like, that is the thing that he should be. Go ahead and head on up to A-Ball. No, high A, I think makes sense. Let's promote him to high A. And then we don't talk about Julio Bruno as a hitting coach. That's fine. Okay. John Kovalik is a pretty good pitching coach. Let's go ahead and bump him up to AAA. I want Nicky Delmonico to be a manager. I don't want him to be a hitting coach. So until a managerial job opens up, he's not going to get it from me. All right. We want the very best teachers we can get. David Teskey, you're in. Legendary pitching, great development and mechanics, helps with aging. He's perfect. He gets along. He doesn't get along great with my pitchers, though. I think that's okay. I think I'm not mad about his relationships being a little bit less effective because he's such a good pitching coach that he'll make up for it. I don't know that I love the fact though that he only really gets along well with hitters, but it's an average relationship. And maybe the more as time progresses, he'll have better experience. But I think a legendary pitching coach like Mr. David Teskey is exactly what we're looking for. Let's look for a hitting coach now. I mean, Ray Ortiz is a bit of a jerk. No, we're not going to do Ray Ortiz. Okay. I'd rather them be great at development than great at mechanics. Christopher Wheat. Hmm. A few players really like him. A lot more just don't care. But I'm not going to go out of my way. Again, we need the best developers of talent. We don't necessarily need the ones that are going to be best friends. That can come later. Um, because something we have to consider, I don't know whether this isn't part of OTP or not, is that there aren't any pre-existing relationships. None of these guys have coached on players on their way up through the system, so they just don't know people that well. Um, I guess that being the case, Ray Ortiz is probably our best choice. Like, I know he's a bit of a jerk, but he's okay, and he's such a good teacher that I think he's a good fit for the club. So I think we'll go ahead and snap him up. Our major league is done. Now we're gonna go for AAA hitting coach, and I think a guy like Christopher Wheat would be perfect for AAA. I think he's an excellent coach, and most importantly, he's got that tied development stat. By the time they're AAA, I don't want them working on mechanics as much. I want them to turn into the player that they're meant to be. David Tusky is already being offered a job by me. Let's go ahead and try to snap up. Brian Croyle? Croyle? There we go. I mean, if I can get a nice young top tier pitching coach like Greg Dupas, I will happily take it. Well, we're on the topic of pitching coaches. Okay, here now that we're down at the rookie level, I really, really value mechanics. So I think Carlos Medina is the best candidate for the job. I don't pay too much attention to relationships and personality when it gets down to the minor league level. I don't know that it has that much of an impact. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm being stupid. Maybe I'm being a foolish person, but I don't think I am. Let's go for the gold here and try to grab Matt Harbaugh. I think he'd be a Matt Hadabaugh, excuse me. He's not like the lost brother of John and James Harbaugh. John and Jim Harbaugh. I don't know why I called him James. I mean, just Jim's literally his name, but still. I kind of want somebody kind of young, but not Tyson Blazer, who's pretty terrible. Let's go ahead and grab Lardell Allen. Give him. Okay. So nothing is confirmed yet. We just have offers in the pipeline, but we do know enough to make the important player decisions in the offseason. Let's begin, first of all, by setting up our development lab. All right. Mr. Ronaldo Caccio, he needs help at everything. But I think we're going to start having him work on plate discipline. I'm sorry, I'm boring, I know, but it's just always a good choice, right? Chris Ramsford, definitely work on plate discipline. Nate Fluelling is actually a starter, so we're going to have him work on control. It also says these are all medium tasks, so it means we have a higher likelihood of them being successful. I definitely want Hagen Smith working on his control. This is a non-trivial concern. Somebody pointed out in the comments, 6.0 is not good. That is going to significantly hold him back if he's not able to figure it out. So we need to make sure he gets the extra training. Speaking of that, I wanted to take a super quick moment and acknowledge the lovely comments that we got in our last episode. Yeah, Ironhead34 was the first person to point it out. He walked 40 batters and not quite 60 innings. That's obviously redonkulous. That needs to get fixed. We'll definitely want to keep an eye on that, so thank you very much. We had a couple. Okay, around the world sports sites, you should do the draft combine from your scouting screen. It'll give you a better sense of when you'll hit diminishing returns. Appreciate that advice. Also, shout out to Jessica Ross, who had a couple of comments, not last week, so the week before, pointing out that yes, that minor league team for the Braves is in fact the Columbus, whatchacolumns. Yeah, the Clingstones. I guess it's a kind of peach, which is fun. Um, and yeah, so thank you all, as always, for your feedback. It means a lot to me, and it helps me make sure that I'm doing things that you're finding entertaining. So keep it coming. Keep it coming. Right. Back to the development lab. Okay. Um. Okay. I don't like that you can do this. I should not be able to click on this button if I can't train him again, unless I can have him do multiple things. Okay. Yeah. That seems like a bug that could very easily be corrected, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. Robert Stewart. I don't normally have players work on defense first, and he's no exception, but I would consider it. I would definitely consider it. If it weren't more important to me that he be an effective bat. Play discipline. By the way, a really cool next level thing for coaches in this game. I'd love to see coaches that are really good at certain kinds of programs. That would really get an extra layer of complexity and interest to me. Now, Ronnie Strand's control's already at 40. Could it be better? Absolutely. But I kind of want him to work on his secondary pitches instead. Um, he's very marginal already. He is the nicest prospect in the league. Um, but his injury proneness is already fragile. So there's also an argument to be made that we really need him to work out and develop stability. But I want him working on his pitches. I think it's going to help him become more useful to us more quickly. So there we go. Two more players can go in. Um, Braden Montgomery, if he's going to make the major leagues, he just has to be better at hitting. I'm gonna take a risk with him, and we're gonna have him work on quality of contact. And then last but certainly not least, we're gonna bring in Mike Braden. Cannot play second base. I don't feel that there's a lot of benefit in going completely nuts for him, especially when he's a competent outfield prospect. I think that's probably his path to success. Um, I'm not at the stage where I want him to change his position. I don't think, especially when I could work on somebody like Nick Ramirez instead and have him work on his plate discipline. There you go. I really want this to succeed. I really, really, really want this to succeed. I want his control to be high enough that I'm not as concerned about him walking people. And now let's talk arbitration. We have one player that's eligible for arbitration, which is Miguel Vargas. Miguel Vargas has done fuck all for 3 years in a row. I don't know that. Hmm. Hmm. I have other first base choices. I have other players that are capable of playing first base. But I feel like Vargas's upside is still worth exploring, even if he himself hasn't had the best career so far. I genuinely think there is some level of value in that. So I think giving Miguel Vargas a 1 year deal is reasonable. I don't think it's unfair for him to ask for a 1 year extension. Um, I don't like paying him 2 million. I wonder if I can get him to take 1.5. Am I nickeling and diming? Probably. Yeah, he'll take 2 million. We'll do that. We don't have any pending free agents. I do want to offer Dominic Fletcher a minor league contract extension. If I ever see people with positive WAR that's above a 1, I always give them contract extensions. They might not take it, but then again, they might, and then we could potentially use them later on. Lenine Sosa, we can give him a little bump. Oh, Lenine Sosa can't get a minor league extension because I think he's already on the 40 man, or was. Yeah, he's not that interesting to me. He just isn't. Yeah. No thanks. Kyle Karros isn't far away from getting consideration to start at first base, but I think I need to start clearing off the roster a little bit. Because I need to activate all three of these guys, and they all get 40 man spots. So let me trade Shane Murphy. Does anybody want Shane Murphy? Is this a piece that somebody's excited about? No, they're not. Nor should they be. Shane Murphy, get out of here. Justinson Garcia, welcome back. Brandon Isert, get out of here. Jack Leiter, welcome back. Now, I do want to make sure we have room on the 40 man so we can potentially add some Rule 5 people. That would be good. But we can wait on that. We can definitely wait on that and see how things go before I make any other decisions of that nature. All right, let's advance some time and see where we end up. Okay. You're happy. I'm sorry, have you lost your fucking mind? I'm not giving you any of my best prospects. I like Colt Emerson a lot more than Bryce Matthews, but I ain't giving up that much for him. I could give you somebody that's a little bit more. I gave you Kenley Jansen for him. You know what? I will even pay his half of his salary. Okay. Let me see if this moves the needle for the Guardians. Because I actually would quite like to have him on the roster more than Bryce Matthews. You signed. You all signed. Yeah, you're being fucking stupid, bro. I don't want to hear about this anymore. You're being dumb and greedy for no real purpose. Driver's seat. A lot of people are signing up, which is great. We're getting the kind of coaching staff I wanted. Miguel Vargas takes a new deal. Brilliant. I think all of our coaches are signed now, aren't they? No, our pitching coach didn't take the offer, which is rude. How about Ford? It's Rob Nen. Absolutely, I'll take Rob Nen. Giants legend. I'm here for that. Matt Hattabaugh has signed. As soon as Rob Nen signs, then we are all full up on coaches. Now, Yordis Valdez can play shortstop. And he can play it quite well. Which, if you recall, is something that I had focused on us being short on last episode, is that we don't have like a really good shortstop. He definitely does that. Arteaga does too. But Luciano really doesn't. Okay. Now, he's not a great hitter. He's not that great offensively, but I can see a future where he is at least pretty good at it. All right, what are you asking for an exchange? Dominic Fletcher, I'd like to keep if I can. Ryan Burrows, I don't care. Ryan Burrows isn't that interesting to me. Colson Montgomery, I also don't mind if we lose him. I'd like to keep Fletcher to have a competent center fielder. And look, Colson Montgomery is never likely to have a big role on this club unless he plays third base. Is third base something I see him being able to play? Yes, actually. What if I drop Colson Montgomery as well? If we start with Ryan Burrows, will you take the deal? See, you're being fucking stupid again. I really hate that the AI does this, where they go like, "Oh, we want your best prospect. He's not that good. I will meet you halfway, but I'm not going to instantly hand you a player of that magnitude." I can't trade Mike Braden, or I would strongly consider it. I want to keep Yorger Bautista. I think Steven Martinez is the kind of guy I'd be interested in trading, maybe. Let's see what kind of response that gets. You both can go away. I am not giving you. I'm not giving you prospects of that caliber. I don't want to give up Colson Montgomery for sure because I'm not convinced that there's a great third baseman. That the guy I have right now is the great third baseman, but this is not going to happen. Thanks, but no thanks. You're being fucking dumb. Max Schumann is fine, but not that exciting. Um, I mean, Sean Burke is nothing special. I feel like this is just a trade for the sake of making a trade, which doesn't interest me. Yeah, stop being stupid with your demands, man. All right, we got Rob Nen. We're all loaded up. I do want to get a high quality shortstop. Let's see if we can target somebody. All right, we want players, hitters who are shortstops. I want at least 60 defense and a potential of at least 55. Okay. Does anybody have several players that fit that particular need? The Dodgers do. I have a feeling. No, Alex. You know what? Let's get greedy. Oh, I see. He has defense that's higher than that, but it's not defensive shortstop. That makes sense. Um, I like Ezekiel Tovar quite a bit. What would it take for me to add him? Okay. And that's really the biggest problem, right? The kind of shortstop we're looking for is somebody that teams are just not going to want to give up, and nor should they. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. I didn't genuinely think we either had enough pieces or anything to get a new shortstop. I think there's other ways to get one. Um, okay. What are some considerations for the roster this year? What are some things I'm thinking about? I think a future where Colson Montgomery is relatively healthy is a future where he plays third base. Where did he even go? Where is Colson Montgomery? I didn't trade him. I know I didn't trade him. Well, he's in AAA. Why do I not see him in AAA? Am I blind? Maybe I am blind. Okay, guys, I am not seeing him. Oh, is he injured? No, he's not injured. Where the actual fuck is Colson Montgomery? Was he kidnapped by wolves? Maybe. I'm gonna go back to the home screen. I'm gonna check it again. Oh, remove. Oh. He's on the Arizona Fall League roster. Okay. That explains it. Okay, great. Matt Wallner for Dominic Fletcher, Bryce Matthews, and David Cortez. Matt Wallner's not that interesting to me. He's fine. I certainly don't hate him, but he's not the kind of player that I'm willing to give up on Dominic Fletcher for. Um, I like shortstops who can. I like center fielders who can handle center field. That is something of great value to me, even if Bryce Matthews isn't. If you do it for Fletcher and Cortez, I would take this trade. But or Matthews and Cortez. That is a trade I'm willing to make. No, you're asking for players that are actually pretty good, so I will clear the offer. I'm happy to upgrade at any position. The only position we have somebody that I would say is untouchable is Kyle Teal. He's the only position player that I think is that good. Vargas and Jung definitely have a lot of potential, and I want to see them reach it. I really want Young to get a new position. I'd love for him to be able to play something besides second and third because I think it's going to hold him back. Well, maybe a third base wouldn't be so bad. But I need a better second baseman if that's the case. I guess Luciano could play second, Arteaga could play short, and Young could play third. Maybe. I feel like Aurel V's Martinez's time has come and gone. I know he only has one major league season, but that major league season was god awful. Like, this is one of the worst players in the history of Major League Baseball. It's not worth keeping him at this point. Like, he has completely obliterated his welcome here in Chicago. If I can get a decent prospect for him, I'm going to take it. If not, I'm just going to try to sneak him off the roster and see if anybody else deals him from us. I just think third base is definitely up for grabs right now. Sure, I didn't get any awards this year. I mean, I didn't expect to get any awards. We might get Rookie of the Year. Maybe. But probably not. Do we get any consideration for Rookie of the Year? I'm curious. I have one curiosity. We got none. I guess that's reasonable. Damn. Good player. I wish we had him. Do I want to go what do I want to go for in free agency? I want some more lottery tickets. I think that's a big thing. Okay, Caden Wallace for Sean Berg, Sabine Ceballos, and David Cortez. Caden Wallace only plays third base, which I think greatly limits his interest to me. I don't think this is a player that I'm interested in. I will politely decline. Pecco Blake's the strikeout record. Oh, for the Arizona Fall League, maybe. No? The Great Hunter Barco? Who the fuck is that guy? That's funny. Like, wow. But yeah, I want lottery tickets. That's what I want more than anything. I want players that need a chance to rebuild their value. Even if I never end up keeping them, which I probably won't. I just think that's useful to us. I think that is an important thing for us to consider. I don't want us to be in on young free agents. Like, young players with bright futures have to be Chicago White Sox, even if it means paying quite a bit of money for them. Give me a default, please. Sort by potential and give me all players. Here we go. What is happening? Okay. Absolutely, I will sign him for 1.2 million. Like, this is the knowest of no-brainers. Make it happen. Dude, I'll give him a major league contract. I don't even care. That is a player that I crave and must have. Eric Bosworth, I can offer a contract to. That's fine. Luis Robert Jr. Nice. The free agent pickings, I'm not gonna lie, are pretty slim actually. Other than Dong Moon An, who's the one guy I would be willing to spend a fair bit of money for. Um, is there a hitter here that's worth investing in? Is there a hitter here that we think is going to have a turnaround? Let's talk about Josh Naylor. Josh Naylor is a no. I'm not going to invest $10 million for somebody that's probably washed already at 29. Victor Robles is a really, really good fourth outfielder. For $1.8 million, that is worth my money. This is the kind of guy I can get excited about. Somebody that adds a lot of value and could potentially be traded if we needed to. Max Muncy for 9 million, maybe. I don't know. The thing is, if Miguel Vargas isn't starting, then we're already having some issues, so I don't want to get anyone that could block in potentially. Ha-Seong Kim for $9 million seems fair. That seems like something I could get behind. Let me do a shortstop filter. Fielding ratings at the stop of shorting. Nope, 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 nope. You know I said shortstop. At least you should have known that I said shortstop. At least 60. What kind of people do we have that fill into that? Literally nobody. Okay. Well, I guess we're not getting our new shortstop from free agency either. What a weird free agent class. It seems like very few players actually hit the market, which is interesting to me. Not a bad thing, but it's an interesting thing. I would sign Willie Castro on a minor league deal. He's got a little bit of positional flexibility. Could get excited about that. Is there any position player or pitcher that is somebody that is so special that I'm willing to crack open my wallet and give them a big deal for? Very clearly, the best person in this free agent class is Dong Moon An. Very clearly. He's a potentially dominating closer for a very small sum of money. We could grab Raisel Iglesias. I think he would be a fine addition to our bullpen. Let's do that. I'm not giving him a no trade clause, though, or guaranteeing that he'll get to be the closer. Yeah, okay. Fine. You can be the closer. I don't care. To take a flyer on Casey Mize? No. I think that would be a pretty stupid decision. I think that's a very bad one, and I'm not going to bother dignifying that with a response. Okay. I feel like we're over investing in the bullpen, but I also don't see anybody that's very clearly an improvement over what we've got. Like I know my team sucks. I'm painfully aware of that. Shane Bieber wouldn't be a bad addition. Maybe get him to show up for one season, maybe two. Give him a try. Okay, what's our opening day rotation right now? It is Noah Schultz, Kyle Wright, Bernie Martinez, Haro Iriarte, Jonathan Cannon, and Hagen Smith in some combination. Only Schultz and Smith are above average pitchers, so adding one veteran starter wouldn't be a terrible idea. I do like Patrick Sandoval a little bit better. Marcus Stroman doesn't really interest me. Nick Martinez doesn't really interest me. It's either Sandoval or Bieber, I think, is the most useful person to pick. Sandoval's a year younger, and he's a hard throwing lefty. That's of interest to me. I will offer Patrick Sandoval a contract. 4 years isn't unreasonable, but I want to have a team buyout. But I'm not going to get caught in a bidding war. That is one thing I will not do. I don't think he's that valuable to me that I would be willing to spend like billions of dollars on him. All right. Oh, must I? Why did I add? Why do I want to pursue Patrick Sandoval? I want there to be a good pitcher that we can potentially leverage in the future. Jose Tena is not what I'm looking for. No thanks. Like, just flat out, not interested. Just not interested. Jordan Diaz would like to be about a White Sox. Man. I mean, it's a straight up upgrade just because Ryan Burroughs isn't very exciting. Like, peak Ryan Burroughs is a mid player, but I'm not going to trade just to trade. I'm not going to trade unless I'm getting better as a team or I'm getting something that I need. Um, so yeah. Rodolfo Castro is not a third baseman. He's also not a very good hitter. Like, I get that I have a very clear opening at third base, but I'm not going to trade just to trade when I have other people that could potentially play third base for me. There are people that are physically capable of playing third base on this roster. I'll vote for Carlos Beltran easily. Goldie, Robinson the Canoe, Zach Greinke. The friend of mine college always called him the Canoe, which I thought was funny. It's humorous. I'll vote for Buster Posey. Vote for Joey Votto and Adam Wainwright. Justin Turner is not that interesting. There's a lot of guys here that aren't that special. Like, it's a video game. I'll vote for Ryan Braun, but he's not going to make the Hall of Fame. He's just not going to do it. Um, John Lester is worth voting for. Corey Kluber is worth voting for. King Felix is genuinely worth voting for. David Price, sure. A-Rod, absolutely. CC Sabathia, absolutely. Jimmy Rollins is whatever. If he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Yeah. Submit ballot. That part of the offseason is not complete. We're going to want to make some room on the 40 man if we can. I really don't want him. I need you to stop. Jose Tena is of no interest to me. He is utter trash. Robles wants more money. Yeah, that's redonkulous. I am not paying you $10 million a year. Like, just stop. I get it. You're not far off from being like a major league caliber player, but I'm not paying you $10 million. That's fucking stupid. I mean, Jesse Franklin doesn't hold any particular attraction for me, but neither does Rodolfo Castro, is my problem. Like, I want to take a risk, but these are not the players I'm going to take a risk on. They just don't have enticing offensive profiles to me. Joey Loperfido. No thanks. Like, I don't want to spin our wheels. I'd rather keep the guys we've already got than trade just for the sake of trading. Okay, we got Sandoval, which actually shocks me. I didn't expect that to happen. I'm happy that it did, but I didn't expect it to happen. Okay, Prelander, Baroa, Bernardino, Alcantara, Schultens, and Hernandez. You all are going to get waived. Sandoval, welcome to the major leagues. I still come to the major leagues. He's been a major league pitcher for a while. So maybe he just want a chance to start every day, which is what he's going to have with us. But in any event, I mean, he's instantly one of the best starters on the team, which I think is maybe damning with faint praise, but it is a fact. Does Blaze Alexander interest me? Maybe a little bit. You're asking for Abel Fuerte, who gives a shit? Jesse Franklin is probably washed anyway. Alexander Albertus. This is a decent trade. And I think it's what I'm willing to make. I think Blaze Alexander offers more flexibility. In many ways. Um, I'm gonna put you in AAA. Oh, I have to put you on the 40 man. Fine. Yeah, I got bamboozled a little bit. I didn't give up anything significant, so I don't really care. But that is a little disappointing. I didn't think to check that. That's on me, though. I can't be upset. Cannot be upset. I picked 6th overall. That's rude. That's rude. Fine. But I'm still going to get a really good prospect at number 6. I'm not that upset. A Rysel Iglesias, yes, please. Welcome to the major leagues, Mr. Iglesias. We're glad you're here. What is going on with On? Is he still mulling things over? I guess. Yeah, Robles wants more money. He's entitled to ask, but he's not getting it from me. Like, I just refuse. I categorically and unwaveringly refuse to just hand him more money just for the lulz. Luis Arias is a hard no. I have no interest in him whatsoever. Not even 1% interested. Victor Robles, did you get your big starting salary? You did. You got a $6 million salary for 1 year. I probably would have paid that maybe, but also maybe not. So I'm fine with him getting what he got. Anybody important that needs to be kept? Yes. Caros and Munoz both have earned the right to be added to the 40 man and not risk losing them. The rest of you guys, not so much. I mean, I know I just capped Dominic Fletcher out of like 3 consecutive trades, so maybe I should add him. But I also don't think anyone's going to take him either. We'll see. Hurston Waldrop is kind of trashed here, if I'm being honest with you. He might be a lot better as a reliever. I don't think he's worthless, but I don't feel the need to waste a roster spot on him. I just don't care that much. I'm gonna get the very best Rule 5 player on this in this universe, so Colton Ledbetter is a pretty good all-around outfielder. I think he'd make a nice addition to the club. Andres Valor is maybe not quite as good. Yeah, I think there's some room to grow on him. He's got decent defense, okay stealing, not great at it, but okay at it. And he's gonna hit okay. Like, he's not necessarily gonna win us a World Series, but I think he's still worth drafting, so we will. Ty Johnson is really interesting to me. Because a lot of this looks pretty pedestrian until you look at his pitches, which are really, really good. I think if you made him into a reliever, you got a little, you get a lot of benefit from him. I think we draft him. I think that's a thing I want to do. And then I think that's it. Unless there's secret like a brilliant infielder here that needs an opportunity, which it doesn't appear to be. I think we just let it ride. I don't think there's anything here that's worth spending a roster spot on, especially with free agents happening. So yeah, no thanks. None of my guys got picked in the Rule 5 draft, which actually makes me happy. It makes me happy I don't have to worry about it. I have some DFA guys. Let's just go ahead and send you all to the minors. Like, literally none of those guys were that particularly interesting to me. And because we're such a bottom basement team, we have a lot of players that are roughly the same level. Okay, he's frustrated. Struggling. Okay. Hmm. So we cancel it early. They might lock in the bad habits anyway. What if we cancel people that are frustrated? Okay, so they're struggling. It might lock it in. But I think we can cancel frustrated. No, see, I don't like this. Like, maybe I'm just not processing the tip. Like, it's trying to tell you he's already struggling, he's gonna do badly, you can maybe have him learn something else. Maybe that's what you're trying to get at. But that doesn't feel good. Like, that doesn't feel like a rewarding decision if it just makes him worse. That's like, why did I bother? You know? You're frustrated. Oh, I see. Here's your actual progress, I think, maybe. I don't know. I need to think more about this before I can make any kind of concerted effort. Mike Braden, learn a new position. I feel like you're giving me feedback, but then if I do anything with it, I'm punished. So, yeah. Yeah. I guess that is, it gives you a chance to pull him out of the program early, but I don't know. Maybe it just needs to be rebalanced, or maybe I'm just failing to understand it, which is entirely possible. It is entirely possible that there's a valid reason and I'm just not grasping it for whatever reason. Either way. I guess the idea is that they're going to fail anyway, so by pulling them out early, you get a spot to use for somebody else. Maybe that's what you're trying to get at. Daniel Johnson doesn't interest me. I mean, he's not the worst. It's like I'm giving up very much in return, but I'm also not getting very much. If he could play center a little bit better, I think he'd have value to me as a fourth outfielder. But because he can't, I just question his utility. I question his moral fiber. Damn, Luis Robert Jr. got fucking paid, yo. That's wild. I definitely did not see that coming. We got Castro. We got That's excellent news. Mike Braden is grumpy. He's so grumpy. We don't know what position he's trying to learn. Maybe they're trying to teach him like we want you to be a left-handed pitcher, and he's like, "What?" Like, I don't think that's what I was asking for, but okay. All right. Um, you're not a shortstop. You're a very well-rounded hitter, but you're not a shortstop. So I'd rather get an even better hitter at a different position. I think is more interesting to you. What about Rodrigo Chavez? Chavez is not quite a complete hitter, but he's really close to it. Like he is really, really close to being a complete hitter. His personality isn't great. Like it's not going to help him, but it's not going to hurt him either. But I still think he is the best bat in this class by far, and I'm willing to pay a goodly sum for that. $5.7 million. Let's fucking go. I don't think that's the right decision. I think I'd rather invest heavily in one player than invest poorly in like four or five. I have other ways to like just bring in people, you know? You know. You know. Why are we stuck on clearing the schedule? That's rude. Don't do that. Okay. We have a personal message. You raised my budget. I mean, I'll take it. I'm definitely not going to refuse your budget increase, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it either. 50 million just for fun. Nope. Yeah. I literally have very little to spend my money on unless I just start trying to buy veterans. Like I take on somebody's bad contract and I get a prospect for it is a path forward for us, maybe. Maybe we save it for like extensions for like Noah Schultz, maybe. Who made the Hall of Fame? Zach Greinke and Carlos Beltran. Nice. Okay. I bet Madison Bumgarner does not fall off the ballot his first year. I bet he's at least going to get a couple years for people to mull it over. All right, Mike Braden got no improvement, which is whatever. Kenley Jansen is losing velocity. That doesn't surprise me. Um, that's kind of not his job. I feel like overpaid Patrick Sandoval, but I think it's going to pay dividends. I think he's going to be able to help teach the rest of the rotation, and that's going to be pretty beneficial. Kind of a quiet off season, but I think a lot of our improvement is just going to come from. Are you fucking joking me? Are you? You got in a car accident, and so you're going to miss spring training. I have never had somebody with a more gold-plated roster spot, and you fucked it up. Oh my god. And the thing is, I don't have another shortstop. We could try Peyton Eels, but he can't really play shortstop that well. He's a good hitter. I actually wouldn't mind adding him at like maybe the outfield, but he's not a very good infielder. Man, Alcantara might actually be the best shortstop on the roster, or he's at least one of them. Maybe Made Roth isn't anything special. Game. Okay, real talk. If I had a competent shortstop, I would be willing to pay for it. But there's not a single shortstop of any note available. Damn. We need a top tier infielder of some description. Like, we have to have one. We need somebody who can help us with the defense issues. Ha-Seong Kim might actually be that guy. Like, this may be our starting shortstop. I don't love it, but we need more than we've gotten out of the position, so I think we take him. I think that's the right choice. Yeah. I need you to sign quickly so you're ready for spring training. That is the thing that I request of you. On 100% is going to be offered a major league role. I have no doubts about that whatsoever. Willie Castro, you can have a little bit of fun in spring training. Wall drop and Eels. You can all have a chance at the major league level. Neat. And then go ahead and do your thing. Set up the staff any way you'd like. So we're sticking Blaise Alexander at third base, Miguel Vargas at DH, and Kyle Karras at first base. I mean, Arteaga is hurt, so maybe don't put him on the fucking lineup. So we're playing Luciano at shortstop. We really need to replace him. I don't want him starting at shortstop, so hopefully Ha-Seong Kim signs quite quickly. I want some good competitions in the outfield, actually. But I think we've got enough people competing for outfield spots that I think we'll get some intriguing ideas coming off the roster. Is this because Kyle Karras is like a really good first baseman that you're convinced he should start there? But he doesn't have much of a bat, is my concern. Like, his bat is uninteresting. It is an ungood bat. Personal message. Most people were successful. Braden Montgomery is poor. He got worse at hitting. Everyone else did okay. And here we go. Please be promoted to Chicago. Does that put him on the 40 man automatically, or did it just give him? Is he just? Yeah, he is just an invitee. Genius. I'm assuming this means Kim takes over at shortstop, but he doesn't because he really want to try Luciano, I guess. For spring training, you know what? I'm willing to let him get some experience. I think there's value in that, but I think for opening day, it's gonna be Ha-Seong Kim. It's gonna be our opening day shortstop. I think it's probably likely to be the case. I just want a really good above average defender. I think that's really important to our pitchers' success and their development as human beings. It's going to be tricky to improve dramatically just because there's not really people being offered that offer such a dramatic improvement. So I don't know. Kyle Karras got better. That's fun. Shane Smith got worse. Anything really crazy happened here? Not really. Nick Ramirez getting worse makes me sad. He's already a very average prospect. Like, this skill set is not one that I would think would normally grade out to being a 50 potential. You know? Robert Stewart getting worse at catching makes me very sad, but not like unapproachably sad. Let me simulate up to March the 22nd. I don't know how this team gets better right now. I don't see an easy path forward because the people that are available, like in free agency, are just not very exciting. Um, I mean, Blake Burkhalter's already on thin fucking ice to begin with. Let's just be a dick and DFA him. And somebody takes him, they take him. Like, the world where he made the opening day roster was just not going to happen. Midroff is still out for another 5 weeks, so we'll put him on the 10-day IL this time. No other injuries. Let's get stuff sorted. So we have 21 pitchers. That's way too many pitchers. Burke to the minors. Munoz to the minors. Ty Johnson goes back to his home club. I still think Leiter can be a good pitcher, but I'm not going to commit to him too heavily. So here's the real question: do we put Hagen Smith back in the minors? And I don't think we do. Leiter to the minors, Shane Smith to the minors, Wall drop to the minors. On easily makes the team. Like, he was going to make the team the whole time. That was never an issue. Fairbanks and Iglesias obviously make the team. Jansen makes the team. Chase Lee goes to the minors. Chivilli goes to the minors. Cannon goes to the minors. 12 pitchers is probably a bit light. All right. No, I have 26 players. I want 13 pitchers. I will bring Chivilli back. Okay. So we're going to clear everything. Because I want Hagen Smith pitching every day. That is of the utmost importance to me, is that he pitches every single day. No thanks. So, it's going to be Wright and Sandoval, or Schultz, Sandoval. 5-man rotation, please. Kyle Wright, Then probably Bernie Martinez. No, probably not actually. Maybe Iriarte is the better choice. Let's try Iriarte out actually. And then Hagen Smith is going to be our fifth starter. He's got too much upside to be left on the sidelines. Um, and he's not going to get better if he doesn't pitch every day. So I think it's of high value to let him go ahead and be our fifth starter. Um, Now I know that Bernie Martinez is actually pretty decent last year. I recognize that he was okay. It's also fair to say that he drastically overperformed his actual skill level. Um, I'm gonna try to sell high on him real quick. I'm not gonna trade him just to trade him, and there's nothing here that actually interests me very much, I don't think. Durangelo Kijincha? I don't know, but not that important to me. Yeah, I think we just keep Bernie Martinez and just let him hang out in the minor leagues to start the season, and we can investigate further in the future. Yeah. Oh, we got to get rid of 8 position players. Okay, that's fine. I think Karros isn't polished enough as a bat. I think he needs a little bit more seasoning. The difference between a Kyle Karros that can hit 15 home runs here and one that can only hit 10 is quite significant. Because he doesn't have very good other skills besides his ability to not strike out and hit for some sort of average. So Kyle Karras goes to the minors. Easy choice. Do we keep Colson Montgomery? I kind of feel like in some ways he's our best third baseman, like low key. I'll get rid of him if I can't find other people to get rid of, but William Bergola, I think, needs a lot more seasoning in the minor leagues. His offensive skill set is so limited that keeping him in the majors just seems foolish to me. Eels kind of is the opposite problem. I think Eels is actually a quite proficient bat already, but I don't see an obvious position for him. We can consider him on the major league roster, I guess. Maybe. Luciano to the minors, please. Keep working, buddy. Bryce Matthews to the minors. Braden Montgomery to the minors. Wilfred Veras we can keep in the majors. I think he's got something to offer. Jorge Barosa fucking sucked last year. I'd almost rather we play Judd Fabian again, despite his limitations, just because Barosa was just bad. Like, he nearly cost us a win in the field. That's how bad he was at center field. And if he can't play center field, his value is significantly less to me. What kind of deal could I get for Barosa? Because he's like, no, keeping Barosa as like as a utility guy, I think is useful. I think that's a thing we could do. I want to keep Ledbetter, but I don't think he's good enough. I think we go ahead and return him. I think that's a decision that we can make. I want Cam Fisher to be given a proper opportunity this year, like he got in the early year last year. I think he's got a lot to offer us. 2 players still got to go. Wilfred Veras might very well end up being one of our starting outfielders, which I think is pretty crazy. I think Fabian starts the center field. I genuinely think he's the better center fielder for us at this point in our career. Blaze Alexander's looking like a mistake already. I know I didn't give up a lot for him, but like Jesse Franklin is already washed. Alexander Albertus is never going to be very good. But I don't think Blaze Jordan's good either, or Blaze Alexander's good either. Um, Here's a controversial question: what do we do with Chase Young? So who is starting where at the moment? Oh, the starting second baseman was actually Luciano. Okay. I feel like Kim probably starts at shortstop. Okay, let me make Kim a shortstop. Let's start with that. Shortstop. I feel like Eels would be a nice feel good story, an eel good story, if you will. Okay. Um, and I like the fact he can also play the outfield. I think he offers us a lot of flexibility, even if I don't see a natural position for him. I'm willing to try him out. I think Eels is a little bit more useful to me right now than Montgomery. I think Caden Montgomery goes to the minors. I think Peyton Eels makes the club. So basically, we're talking probably Alexander at third, probably Young at second, and probably Kim at shortstop. Then when Arteaga gets back, we can have that conversation. But for right now, I think that gives us the best infield defense. So one outfielder has to go now, and I think it's probably Willie Castro. I think Castro is more useful to me in the minor leagues than he is in the major leagues right now. So that's what we're looking at here. Okay. Let's finish the rest of the pitching staff. Okay. I like On a lot, but I wonder if the best use of his current talents isn't to have him just be a lefty killer that also happens to chip in against righties, middle relief style. I think I think the sky's the limit with him. I think he's a truly fantastic pitcher. I just want him to get a little bit of seasoning before we give him a big role. All right. I think Raisel Iglesias is the closest thing we have to an actual closer that I somewhat trust. I think Iglesias has the best control and the best overall pitches, and so I think that makes him our closer. I'm not like permanently wedded to him being the closer until the dawn of time, but I think he's a good closer. Um, Please give me. Oh, I don't have my adjusted pitching ratings. Let me fix that. Because I always want to know their PBA, P BABIP, and home run rate. I always want to know velocity potential on the total pitches that they throw. I see. The rest of this I don't particularly need, but I think this stuff here is all very, very good. Moves stamina, so it's where velocity is now. I like seeing them side by side. Okay. Let me save this view's pitching ratings as a global view, so I can use it in any save I choose to use in the future. Okay. Because this exposes the best benefit of Caleb Ferguson, which is that he doesn't allow very many home runs. So that is a thing that we can consider. Kenley Jansen might be washed already. A guy whose velocity was already kind of fringy just dropped. It's not likely to get better. He's already 39. I mean, I inherited his contract, and there's nothing forcing me to keep him around. But yeah, Joe Rosado's the only pitcher that has any level of stamina. So I think we make him the emergency starter and long reliever. I think that's the role for him. Okay. Kelly Jansen is kind of He's just here. He doesn't really have a big role to play on this franchise anymore. I think it's useful to have him just be a straight up middle reliever. Um, I think Chivilli is a middle reliever. Where did Bernie Martinez go? Oh, who's right here? Okay. Bernie Martinez, I think, is a long reliever emergency starter. We're going to switch him around. And then I think Fairbanks is setup, and I think Caleb Ferguson is seventh inning setup. Yeah. It's not going to take long for On to get a bigger role. I just need him to get a little experience in the major leagues before he's going to start flying up the depth chart. Pete Fairbanks was good last year. He wasn't fantastic, but he was good enough. Good enough to get more opportunities here. Let's quickly check free agency, and we'll also check the waiver wire and opening day, because I think there's some maneuvers we could make here. All right, let's set the lineup now. We're at 26 players now. Let's set the lineup. All right, new good from Morbid. It's the only way to be sure. All right. No, not your stupid batting ratings. How about the good batting ratings? The ones that I can actually rely upon. Here we go. All right. Yikes. I think Kyle Teal hits second. I think that's his role in this lineup. I think he's the best hitter on this club, and we want him to get lots of opportunities. I think Wilfred Veras is either our is probably our cleanup hitter. I don't like him hitting third, but I can definitely handle him hitting cleanup. So who hits third? Who offers the best combination of just being the best all-around hitter? Is it Peyton Eels? Is it quite literally Peyton Eels becomes our third place hitter? It's probably Vargas, maybe. I think we do Vargas hits third and plays first base. He's a righty. I don't really care. And then I think Jace Young plays second base, and he's going to be hitting fifth. So who leads off? Who is by far our best on base guy? I think Cam Fisher DHs potentially. Actually, no, Jung isn't very fast. Vargas isn't very fast. I guess Kim could lead off for us. I'm not opposed to that. So here's the real question here. Here's something to consider. What do we do with Cam Fisher and Peyton Eels? I don't know. Who plays right field? Wilfred Veras can play right as about as well as he can play left, so that's not a concern for me. Who's my best right fielder, and why is it Jorge Barrosa? Is it Barrosa in right field? I think Tisa Warnilas is a little bit better, but I'm also not going to give a guy who played so poorly last year necessarily more playing time. So I think we do shift Barossa over to right field and we let him play right. And then he can hit 6th. So, who DHs? Who is our DH? It could be Hostingson. It could be a decent DH. Oh, he could play right field. Is he a better right fielder than Barossa? He definitely has more power than Barossa. That's not in dispute. The question is Barossa overall the better player? I don't think so. Yeah, what if we don't play Barossa? What if we play Password in right? What if that's a thing that I did? Because I don't want to give anybody that had a bad year last year lots and lots of playing time unless I have to. So let's go ahead and quickly chuck Garcia into right field. Well, so the answer to the question I was actually trying to answer, which is who plays DH. And I think the answer is most likely going to be Cam Fisher. But the real question is, do we ever play Peyton Eales? Is there a world where Peyton Eales gets meaningful DH at bats? I need pop from my DH, and I think Cam Fisher is the guy for that reason. So we'll try it. We'll let him be the designated hitter, although I don't feel great about it. I still think he's the best choice. Okay. Judd Fabian plays center field. This was predetermined, and I think he can play center field and hit 8th. So who's playing third? Blaze Alexander. Yeah, alright. At least Blaze Alexander gives me a really, really good defender in the infield, which I didn't have last year. Even if I don't necessarily think he's all that special, I think he's okay. And I think not all that special, I think he's okay, is a good description for the entire lineup. This is going to be another difficult year, I think. Lots of things could go in a very different direction, and if they do, amazing. But I'm not counting on it. The imperative to me is that we're not playing players that had an opportunity last year and played very poorly. Um, unless I just don't have an alternative, or unless I think there's something there. Like Miguel Vargas is probably the highest ranking player that is getting another chance that probably doesn't deserve it. But I also don't have a ton of options. I don't have a ton of young hitters that are waiting for opportunities. A lot of them are just too far off from being major league ready. Um, yeah. If I'm not going to play Eales, is it better to keep him in the major leagues over Luciano? No, I think Luciano's the better choice. Sorry, Eales. I got you excited. I put you on the 40-man, and then you don't get to make the roster. I think we're better off with Luciano. I think we're better off having him provide depth where needed. I do like the idea of him playing shortstop with some regularity. I think that takes the pressure off of Kim, who's already in his 30s. I think that's fine. I don't want Barossa playing if I can avoid it. In fact, the only job share I want is at shortstop. Maybe every 10 games is fine. I think giving Luciano some reps at shortstop once or twice a week is a reasonable decision. This is still not a good offense. There's still a lot of players here that are going to need a lot of work in order to be major league starters. But I also see some potential in these guys too. If we look by potential here, we have 4 above average regulars. And one guy who's almost a guaranteed all-star. And that's awesome. Like there's definitely some upside to this team, but I don't have the kind of players that can take over a game yet. I think the lineup is going to be a harder sell than the pitching staff. What about pitching? What are we looking at here? What if we looked at pitching potential? What if we did that? So we basically have a bona fide ace, a future closer, a really good number two, and then several competent relievers. Um, I probably need more depth in the rotation. Right now, it's very much Noah Schultz and hope that everyone else doesn't do anything too stupid. I'm not saying that they're bad pitchers, but I am saying that we don't have a lot of really good players here either. We take a look at our prospect pipeline. Finish today, please, and thank you. That's good. Getting Chase Meadroth back is definitely not a bad thing. Um, I don't know where he plays right now. He's probably better second baseman than Jace Young. He's also really, really good with his batting eye, which makes him a good candidate to lead off. And he's actually one of our better hitters last year, so I think we definitely need to. We definitely are going to find a way to get him in the opening in the lineup when he's ready. We have some high quality prospects. They're just a ways from the major leagues. If we take a look at our prospect pipeline, do you have anybody that is approaching the major leagues? Let's find out. I'm seeing a lot of 2030, 2031 timelines. Tanner McDougal is pretty highly regarded. He's a 27. Varys is a 27. Most of our very best prospects, though, are a ways away from the major leagues, which makes sense. Like, this farm system was in kind of rough shape when we picked it up. Um, Kyle Karros is definitely somebody else that's intriguing to me that we're going to want to keep an eye on. But, like, oh dear, Miguel Salazar is extreme risk. Why are you extreme risk? Oh, because you're a lefty that throws almost 100 miles an hour with very little control. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Who else is an extreme risk? RJ Trujillo, DJ Trujillo. What's your deal? I'm a little less concerned about you. You're just free talent, so if you work out, great. If you don't work out, that's also fine. Aberson Artiaga may very well be the answer to the question that we have, which is where are we going to get a great shortstop? I just think he needs practice in the major leagues, but I do think he offers us a quality defense. So when Chase Meadroth comes back, we probably send down who's his face? Fuckhead McGee. Probably Luciano. Yeah, I think Luciano needs to play a lot more in the minor leagues for his bat to carry his glove. Um, him is going to stay on the roster the whole year, possibly, but also possibly not. There is a universe where he doesn't stay on the roster. Like how the worst player on the 40-man roster happens to be starting in center field because we're just that thin at center field. I mean, I guess we could try Dominic Fletcher there. If Judd Fabian really struggles, then I think definitely we try Dominic Fletcher. I think he definitely becomes a starting center fielder. Um, or do I just do that now? What if we did do that? I kept protecting Dominic Fletcher over and over and over again. Maybe this is his time to shine. Let's try it. He's at least as good defensively. He's got some okay offensive skills. I don't think he's going to be very good offensively, but frankly, I just need to be a competent defender. So here's what I think happens. Here I think is are going to be our path once Meadroth comes back. Meadroth plays second, and Jace Young shifts over to third. I think is the most likely scenario. Kim could also play third; he'd be pretty good at it. But I think Jace Young is the better fit at third for right now. So when Artiaga gets back, he takes Haesong Kim's spot. I think that's what's going to happen. I truly do. Yep. Any last? Let's check the waiver wire. The wire of waiving. Anybody interesting? Do you have any interesting folks? I wouldn't send it to Taylor Trammell actually. I really like his leadership, and I don't think we have a ton of it right now. I don't think we have a ton of personalities on this team. Period. Yeah, we don't have any. So I think adding somebody like Taylor Trammell would be quite beneficial. Let's do that. Let's claim him. Look at pictures. And doesn't really do it for me. I guess the buying claiming Quinn Priester is he's so young that there's a chance he could turn out to be something really, really good. But nothing about his skill set really interests me. Um, I think he's fine, but I don't think he offers what I'm looking for, which is either somebody that's established, who can be a veteran, or somebody who's just, has a lot of upside to him. Cutter Crawford is a possibility, although again, I don't really see it. I don't really see adding him being of much use to me. Um, do we pay Casey Mize to rehab? Is that a proposition with upside? The thing is, I think he's being greedy. Okay, here's my deal with you. I give you $2 million this year just to rehab because you're not going to be coming back this year. I then offer you 8 million the year after that, and then you get the full 10 million, 12 million, and I want two team options. I know this isn't maybe what you're looking for, but it might be the best you can get. Oh, the owner wants to distribute it more evenly. Okay. Yeah, I am not giving you a 1 year deal when you're not coming back this year. That's fucking stupid. I want a 3 year deal and I want team options. That is what I would like. That is what will convince me to sign you. Otherwise, rehab on your own dime. That works for me. I know Casey Mize isn't going to be back this year, but this is the exact kind of player we want to be taking risks on. He's somebody who's not far removed from being a really good pitcher. So if if he rehabs well, then great. We bring him in and we have a pretty good starting pitcher for not great for a decent amount of time. Sam Mooneyham, I will happily offer you a minor league contract for sure. Uh, I'll let Herman Marquez as long as he doesn't want very much money. I think that's fine. But yeah, this deal for Mize could be a sleeper for a really good choice. Um, it I have the money, and if it turns out that he still sucks, I can get rid of him pretty quickly. But basically, this is a guy who thought he's worth $15 million. I got him for less than half that. So definite under the radar deal, assuming he signs. So we're gonna go ahead and sum up to April 1st because no games are happening. So I don't. That doesn't count as like starting the actual season. Oh, I do. Who is still a non-roster invitee? Oh, he's Ha-Seong Kim is. There you go. We did it. Yeah. Cool. I need good young players. That is what is required for us to be a successful franchise. We need good young players um, that offer us some quality stuff here. And we'll send you to the minors. There we go. Can you please just let me advance to opening day, I beg you? Could you permit that? I know technically opening day has already happened. We haven't played any games yet, so I don't really count it as opening day. We did get Taylor Trammell, which is actually a very nice little pickup. Casey Mize, welcome to the club. You instantly go on the 60-day IL. Whose spot does Taylor Trammell get? Because I do want him on the opening day roster. I do want him playing for us. Probably Tirso Ornelas. I think you're going to take his spot. Now, do you start? Is the question. Are you of more value to me than Password? Are you a better player for me? Oh my god. What? OOTP? I love you. I don't know if this has never been here before. These bright red numbers that tell you where they're actually better at is genius. Oh my lord. It's so good. That's incredible. I love it. I love everything about it. Thank you so much, OTP. Okay. So the better overall hitter is Password. He doesn't strike out as much, but doesn't have the power of batting eye. So there's some consideration here. Password definitely has more potential. Definitely. Password is also significantly better against left-handed pitching. Like, significantly better. So maybe the answer here is a platoon. Maybe Trammell faces right-handed pitching and Garcia faces left-handed pitching. I think that's a good way to leverage it. What about defensive ratings here? They're about the same. Trammell's range is ever so slightly better, but neither one of them is necessarily like a Gold Glove defender. Okay. So yeah, I think that's what we do. I think that actually gets more skill out of the roster. So Mr. Garcia, I'm gonna bench you against righty so that Taylor Trammell can start. And give me a new depth chart, please. Well, you want Brosa to come in every 5 games. I'm not opposed to that, but let's make it every 10. And then this is all fine. Cam Fisher playing first isn't a bad idea. I can get on board with that. And then I paste the depth chart. And then we just do one of these. And we're good. Okay. I feel pretty good about this. I feel like there's enough upside, there's enough value on this team that all it's going to take is 1 or 2 players having like a really dominating year, and we're going to see we'll approach 500. I think that's the next barrier. The next barrier is for us to approach 500. Maybe win less than 80 games. Maybe win less than 90 games. Like we just want to get better every year. That's the goal. I want to learn about our players. That's the other objective. We want to learn who actually is worth keeping around and who actually doesn't have much to offer us. Um, yeah, cool. I could probably get rid of Kenley Jansen in all honesty. Mm. Nobody's gonna want him. Like, this is not somebody that I'm gonna be able to flip at the deadline, which is another consideration. Um, I really like the Casey Mize deal. I think it has the potential to be hugely underrated. Hugely underrated. Um, when do we offer Noah Schultz's extension? I guess is a good question. And I don't know the answer to that. Like, the obvious idea is we do it now, while he's still really cheap, but he also only has one major league year. Oh, Christian Walker is retiring. Okay. Cool. All right. Anything wild happen? Cole Seamus is throwing harder. That's cool. I don't know who you are, but I'm glad you're throwing harder. On got worse, which is kind of gross. Fairbanks got a little bit worse. Starlin Thompson got a little bit better. Ethan Pecco got a little bit better. Shane Panzini is probably done. To be 25 and see your abilities drop that much is very yikes. Tanner McDougal is getting better. I like the cut of his jib in a lot of ways. I don't like this. But he's still super young. If he can figure out how to control his walks, he's another possible frontier start because his pitch selection is fantastic. He's very, very well rounded, which I really enjoy. What else we got going on here? Other people are approaching the zone where they get considered. Ferreira's here is a decent infielder. I could see that happening. Maybe. Maybe. Pedro Radman isn't anything too exciting. I mean, Jake Polish is 28 and is losing velocity. That's terrible. Other people are getting better. Although Abel Fuerte casually just picks up a screwball for the fun of it. If he turns out, amazing. But he is very much not expected to be a top tier pitcher for me. But I do want to see him keep developing because he might be pretty cool. Reese Diaz is now throwing a forkball. Nice. Brody Brecht got better, which is good. That's good. He's another starting pitcher who's got some mileage on him. Control still not great. Yeah. Juan Olmos. Probably no relation to Edward James Olmos, but it'd be cool if he was. He's also from Colombia. I'm pretty sure Edward James Olmos is originally of Mexican heritage, if I'm not mistaken. Phenomenal actor. Absolutely phenomenal actor. One of the very, very best. I like this team. So until next time, my friends, thank you very much for watching. On Monday, I'm gonna break down ratings and OOTP. So I hope you get a chance to check that out. Tell your friends. If somebody's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in this game, hopefully I can give them some very helpful encouragement. And yeah. I want to put Civ 7 on the channel. I haven't found a good time slot for it, and I haven't had the kind of schedule that's allowed me to do it yet. But it is something I'm considering. Because I don't want to just be baseball all the time. We might do a brief OTP interlude when I finish with the Monday series, and maybe do some Civ 7 for, 3-4 weeks. But until then, thank you very much for watching. This has been Guardian, and I bid you good day.